In this tutorial, we will explore the active learning cycle and how to utilize active learning activities in the classroom. The learning pyramid breaks learning down into two sections: traditional or passive learning and active learning. Traditional and passive learning includes lectures, readings, audio and visual, as well as demonstrations, with the average retention rate between 5 to 30%. Active learning is where most of the learning occurs. Active learning includes activities such as discussion groups, practice by doing, and teaching others in immediate use, with the average retention rate of 50 to 90%. Active learning is an approach to instruction that involves actively engaging students with the course material through discussions, problem solving, case studies, role plays, and other methods. Active learning approaches place a greater degree of responsibility on the learner than passive approaches, such as lectures. But instructor guidance is still crucial in the active learning classroom. Active learning activities may range in length from a couple of minutes to whole class sessions, or may take place over multiple class sessions. Active learning is important for a number of reasons, one of those being improved critical thinking. Active learning shifts the focus of learning from passively and possibly unquestioningly digesting information to being accountable for actively engaging with sources and perspectives. When students share ideas, they learn to build stronger arguments, challenge presumptions, and recognize leaps of logic. A second benefit to active learning is increased retention. Students were more easily able to transfer information by applying their ideas through working on collaborative projects or approaches like design thinking or the agile process to solidify their learning. A third benefit is increased motivation. Active learning also makes students feel that going to school is an enjoyable experience. A new adventure will be waiting for them every time they step into the classroom. Students would feel more excited and start looking forward to the next lesson. Working on activities helps create a personal connections with the material, which increases students' motivation to learn. A fourth benefit to active learning is improved interpersonal skills. Collaboration is a pillar of the most active learning approaches. In increasingly team-oriented workplaces, students whose only experience is with essay writing and exams will find themselves at a disadvantage. By working together in breakout groups, students develop the abilities they'll need to collaborate in the workforce. This learning cycle looks at how to implement and utilize active learning in your classroom. Step 1 is to assess prior knowledge. Prior knowledge is the knowledge that the student has prior to you starting the topic. Our understanding of how the brain makes memories tells us that your student can only understand what you are telling them if they can link it to something they already know. This means that assessing your students' prior knowledge is a vital first step to ensure your words do not fall on deaf ears. If you find that prior knowledge is missing, repairing this is an important first step in their learning. Step 2 is to present new material. This step includes teaching materials to students through lectures, reading materials, and other means. Be sure to identify learning objectives and outcomes. You can also consider giving your students an organizer to help them see the big picture of your topic as you teach the detail and link abstract ideas to concrete examples to enable students to understand the more difficult ideas you teach. Step 3 is to challenge. These are ways to set your student tasks, which are most likely to make their learning of the new material effective. This is the step where active learning is predominantly utilized and allows students to be engaged with the content. Be sure to provide clear and specific instructions to students before the session. This includes describing how students will engage with each other and complete the activity, as well as outlining the steps. Also consider how the in-class activity will continue after class in order to extend the learning process and experience. Prepare a rubric for assessing student effort so students know how they are being graded. Step 4 is feedback. These are methods to show the student how to improve. Be sure to note the importance that they are implementing the feedback and not simply receiving it. There is no best way to give or receive feedback. You could give it verbally or written. Students could also get feedback by marking their own or another student's work. When students are actively engaged, they think deeper about the course content and enjoy their learning. This can happen through a range of activities such as group work, project work, interactive online activities, peer teaching, and so on. Students must be actively participating in and reflecting on the activities to enhance their higher order thinking capabilities. This spectrum arranges active learning techniques by complexity and classroom time commitment. For individual engagement with material, consider minute papers, self-assessments, brainstorming, note-taking, and case studies. For paired discussion work, consider think, pair, share, informal groups, and peer reviews. For small group interactions, consider group projects, role-playing, active review sessions, and concept maps. For large group exploratory activities, consider simulations, games, debates, and investigations. Other activities, such as the muddiest point, exit tickets, and the fishbowl strategy, are great ways to discuss misconceptions that were perceived during the lesson and reflect on how to address those points at the end of class or at the beginning of the next class. By utilizing active learning, you provide students with opportunities to process course material through thinking, writing, talking, and problem solving through multiple avenues for learning. The regular interaction with the instructor and peers around shared activities and goals also helps create a sense of community in the classroom.